Hey everyone, this is Brian from Provision Studios, and if you've been a follower of my channel, you know that I cover a lot of music on audio and video types of videos. But today I wanted to make a video about a shopping experience I recently had with an online car company that you purchase your cars and they deliver it to you called Vroom, Vroom. Um, the reason why I want to make this video is because uh, I have a lot of subscribers, and it's an easy way for me to get my opinion out to a bunch of people when I think it's important. And this is something I think it's important. So we're in that age right now where uh, not being close to other people is kind of like the norm. Social distancing is like the way to be right now. So buying cars online and having them delivered to your home is kind of like the new way to buy cars. Sort of like you take it, you keep a car for a week for a test drive, and if you like it, you buy it. It's yours. Um, anyway, so I had a Mazda 3 that I wanted to trade in, and I was looking at getting an MX-5, which is used to be, back in the day, used to be called the Miata. They've since stopped calling it that, but either way, I'm talking about the classic Miata. Their fourth generation, which is the ND brand. Um, anyway, I saw a car that I liked on the app, and it said that it was for sale for this price that was within my budget. It had all the features I wanted, so um, I called them. Actually, I'm sorry. I said that I tapped on the car, and it asked if I wanted information. Someone would reach out to me. About an hour later, I got a phone call from someone from Vroom, and the gentleman said he was a salesman. He saw that I was interested in this 2016 fourth generation Mazda MX-5, but he said, "I'm sorry, sir, that car has been sold." And I said, "Are you sure about that?" And he said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, I'm on your app right now, and there's nothing on here that says that this car is sold or is being purchased. In fact," I said, it told me that if I wanted to buy this car, to click this button." So he apologized. He said that as big as their network is, it's hard for them to keep it updated at all times. So I told him that was kind of bull crap, that they would allow that. So he asked if he could interest me in another car. I said no, that was the car I wanted. So within 10 to 15 minutes, my phone is just blowing up with text messages from this guy that when I told him no, anyway, blowing up from this guy with links to cars that they're not Mazdas, they're not MX-5s, they're like Camaros and Mustangs, and which is not what an MX-5 is. It's not a muscle car. It's not a sports car. Miata is a two-door sort of roadster. I mean, it's not a sports car at all. Anyway, it frustrated me. So I continued my search. I found a company that actually was able to get another MX-5 delivered in my area from down south, and I went and took it for a test drive. And whoever had owned it previously had beaten the crap out of the car. It made all kind of crazy noises. The transmission was like grinding, and it didn't want to go. And anyway, it was the worst experience I have had in a vehicle in my entire life. And I took a day off of work and drove an hour and a half both ways actually an hour and a half and an hour and a half, 3 hours total to get there and back. So 150 miles is what I drove for a dog of a car. Anyway, this was not Vroom. This was another company who I won't mention, you know. But so it made me really want to get that car that I had saw originally on Vroom's app. So I went looking again, and this car popped up. This same car popped up again on my search. I was like, wait a minute, this car was sold. So I looked at it, and there was a number there. Call us. So I called Vroom. This time I called them, and based on my cell phone number, the person that answered knew it was me. So he was like, "Hey, Mr. Buckaloo, how you doing?" And I told him, I said, "Look, man," and I explained to him everything that had happened up to that point. And he was like, "Well, yeah, we have that car. It's for sale." I was like, "What are you talking about? Just less than a week ago, I spoke to this man. He said it was sold." And this guy went into this long breakdown of, "Oh, we're so sorry. This happens sometimes. People buy cars, and at the last minute, the paperwork doesn't go through." It was just on and on and on and on. And I told him, I said, "Do you realize what you cost me because you guys don't know how to update your app?" Anyway, that was one thing altogether. So anyway, so he gets me working with getting the car purchased by me, and within like 5 minutes, I looked at the app, and the car that I was looking at had a red flag on it that said this car is presently under contract to be purchased. So within 5 minutes, the car is no longer able for someone else to buy it. So anyway, that kind of makes the guy's first statement false. Anyway, so what ensued next is perhaps the worst experience I've ever had as a consumer. I was led down a path of consistent misinformation, having to constantly repeat myself over and over and over again, like no one knew why I was calling or what I was calling about. The only thing that they did know was the car I was interested in. They knew that it was a 2016 Mazda MX-5 Miata in Soul Red with however many miles were on it, 53,000 miles. That's all they knew. They couldn't tell me where the car was. They couldn't tell me what was happening with the car. I kept telling them, "Look, I want to buy this car. Why are you dragging your feet?" And it was every day was an excuse. "Oh, we'll have to get back to you tomorrow." And I was like, "Look, this is the car I want. Let's just move forward." So finally, we got to a point where they were like, "Oh yeah, the car's ready. It's ready to be sold." And so I told them, I said, "All right, how much money do I need to put down on this car so you guys know that I want to buy it?" And they were like, "You send us $500 right that'll allow us to hold the car for you." So I gave them my credit card and said, "Here's $500. Let's get moving." All right. Within 5 minutes of me sending them the credit card information, my wife got an email from them, because me and my wife, we were in this together. She gets an email from them with all these pictures of the car. As a matter of fact, there were 18 pictures. Previously on the app, there were 15 pictures. Picture 1 through 15 of a gorgeous looking Soul Red 2016 4th generation Mazda MX-5 with a black convertible top. In her email, there's 18 photos. Photos 16, 17, and 18 show scratches on the car that I previously had not seen. The only way I knew about this is I was told my wife, "Hey, Carrie, I'm going to get the car." Shouldn't have said my wife's name. "Honey, I'm going to..." In this day and age, it's real easy to find out anything. So Anyway, I was like, hey, honey, I'm going to get that car. I'm going to get that car. And she was like, yeah. She goes, I just got an email from them. And she said, she goes, because she knows how I am about things that I own. She's like, why would you buy a car with all these scratches on it? And I was like, what are you talking about, scratches? So she forwards me the email. I about blew up. Now, the scratches in the photos, the way they made them appear, is these were deep scratches that were like down to the metal. Afterwards, I'm going forward into the end. When I got the car, the scratches weren't that bad. In the photos, they look bad. So poor photography on there. I guess they were trying to err on the side of caution and then misrepresent the scratches. Anyway, I call them up. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. You guys just got my money to hold the car, and I'm getting emails now with photos I've never seen before. They're like, sir, what are you talking about? I'm like, and so I sent them the original link, and they told me that wasn't their fault. They're like, we'll send you your money back. We'll cancel the deal right now. And I was like, well, wait a minute. You guys are misrepresenting your vehicle here. You're not going to stand behind this? They're like, well, that's not our problem. If you don't want the car. I mean, it was like they were like trying to back out of this deal like real bad. And I was like, no. I want this car. God damn it, I want this car. But you guys need to take some responsibility for not acting like a reputable company. They were like, sir, we're not doing anything of the kind. We just as soon tear up the contract right now and have your money back to you within 24 hours. And I was like, so that's the way Vroom operates. You guys, instead of standing behind your marketing and your distribution, you're just going to write it off to like, oh, we'll sell it to someone else. They were like, yeah, pretty much. So I said, I'll tell you what. I'm going to make you guys bring this car to me. I've got 7 days to test drive this car. And if I don't like it, I send it back. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to make you guys bring me this car. This car will be in my driveway. And their whole tune changed. They were like, this is going to cost you extra money to get this delivered. And I was like, but you deliver, that's your whole shtick. Your shtick, Vroom's shtick is we deliver to you. So now all of a sudden they added $699 in delivery fees. They wanted to charge me all kind of extra expense just to get this car from Texas to where I live in Florida. Man, oh man, oh man. This isn't even the worst part. I mean, I'm still going. So finally, I get an email. Oh, sounds like fireworks. Finally, I get an email saying that my wife gets an email saying that the car will be delivered within 24 hours. Here's the problem. She gets an email right after that from the company saying, we're on our way to pick up your trade-in. I was like, wait a minute. You can't pick up my trade-in before I get the car. You can't leave me without a vehicle. So I had to call up Vroom and be like, stop, wait, pump the brakes. You can't pick up my trade-in until I actually have the car I'm buying. I told him, I thought that they would pick up the trade-in, the same guy that drops off the vehicle. They're like, no, that's not how this works. And I was like, holy mackerel. You're telling me that I have to be at the mercy of your delivery driver because you guys want to get my trade-in before and I told him, I said, so how do I know that this car is ever going to come at all? You guys didn't get my $500 down payment and you're getting my trade-in. It was a nightmare. So I argued with them for hours. I finally got them to call off the company that was going to come and pick up my trade-in. A couple days later, I get a call from a man in Alabama, which is about a half an hour from where I live, saying that he had been given a call from Vroom that they were gonna he had to go pick up a car to deliver to me. When was a good time? So I told him, you tell me, I'll be here. So we arranged for the next morning, 7 a.m. By 7 a.m. the car would be here. But he shows up about half an hour late. But anyway, he showed up. we back the car down, and we drive into my driveway, and I say, hey, are you taking my trade-in? He says, sir, I was only instructed to drop this car off. I was like, okay. All right. I said, I just figured that they would want the trade-in at this time. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So he leaves. I go to work because I got to get to work. Within 1 hour, he's calling me saying, they just asked me to pick up your trade-in. Couldn't believe it. So I told him, I'm like, I'm at work. I can't leave. You're gonna have to either come by tonight, or I guess tomorrow morning we can do this again. He was busy. He was like, I gotta go out of town. So he was like, I'll stop Friday morning or Saturday. Anyway, this thing just got crazy. In the meantime, the company that I financed my trading through, they're like, we want our money. We want our payoff. And I'm like, I still have the car. Like a full month had gone by from when I had agreed to buy the MX-5 and trade in my Mazda 3, and my trade-in's still sitting in my yard. And the finance company, they're like, Brian, you're gonna have to do something here. We need our money. So I'm like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. So basically, I was able to speak to someone at Vroom, explain to them what was going on. They cut like a promissory. I don't know what they worked something out with the finance company of the vehicle I was trading in to get them to not hold me liable. Basically, they were like, okay, we're going to stop calling Brian. We're dealing with Vroom now, because Brian signed the car away. Vroom hadn't come picked it up yet, but Brian had signed the car away. Anyway, so that was a relief. That got straightened out. So I then call them because they're like, your new tag, it could take 4 to 6 weeks before it's issued. So in the meantime, we have the delivery driver has we've given him a temporary tag. He didn't have a temporary tag, and not only that, I was transferring my tag from my trade-in to the new car. So I told him that. I called him. I'm like, you guys are mistaken here. I don't need you to mail me a new tag. I'm applying for a tag transfer. Anyway, they apologized again. We're sorry. Just put your tag on, and it'll be okay. We'll contact the DMV in your state, and in a couple months at the most, we'll have this all worked out. I was like, okay. So if I get pulled over, I'm not going to get a ticket. They're like, sir, if you get pulled over, you will not get a ticket. You're good to go. Thank you. All right. About 2 weeks ago, what do I get in the mail? A brand new license plate. $400 in fees. Expires in December of 2021. The tag I had on my car that I wanted to transfer over, I had paid for 2 years of registration 6 months ago. It expires in December of 2022. The whole time I had been driving since I got the car, the MX-5. I had been driving it without a registered tag, because they canceled the registration on the tag the minute I traded the car in. The tag that I got, again, it expires in 6 months. When I called them for 2 weeks, it went back and forth to them saying, "Oh, we don't know how to fix this. This is just a bad situation," and they kept trying to escalate me up to these account executives or whatever they are, and nobody had an answer. They kept on saying, "Well, if you send us this, and this, we'll get it straightened out." I sent them everything that they asked for. I never got a confirmation email. I never got anything from them saying, this is where we're at in the process. It's looking good. We've made contact with our professionals. deal with these matters. We're moving forward. I never got any kind of communication. Finally, I called them back just the other day, which is why I want to make this video. And they told me that we're sorry. We've already this paperwork is already finalized. There's nothing we can do. You just have to keep the tag. So and then they said you can go to your DMV and get it transferred over. So I said in my calmest voice, I wasn't calm, but it was my calmest voice I could muster. So you're telling me I have to take off of work again, go down to my DMV, you know how that is, explain to them how Vroom has done nothing right for 3 months, charged me for a tag I'd never asked for, and is screwing me out of a year of registration on my plate. They're like, yeah, that's what you need to do. If anybody that is watching this video has stayed this long, and I apologize, I know this is long-winded, but if you've stayed this long, I implore you, don't need a car this bad. Don't buy from Vroom. You will regret it. One way or another, you will regret buying a car from the most unprofessional company I have ever done business with. This was a nightmare from the very first experience on opening the app to the very last phone call I just had 2 days ago. This company has done nothing that makes me believe they know what they're doing. I spoke to 3 different people on 3 separate occasions telling them, do not send me a license plate. I am transferring mine off of the car that I'm trading in. Oh, okay, we're sorry. Oh, yeah, it's right here on your contract. Sorry. I don't know how we missed that. Well, apparently a 4th person missed it. So here I sit. I've got the car I want. I love the car. I'm going to, during this video, you're gonna be seeing photos of it, and you're gonna see the video that I made of it, and all that. I love the car. It's a badass car. It brings a joy to my face every time I get in it, and every time I get out of it, the joy goes away because I think about what I had to go through with Vroom just to put that smile on my face. So they can't steal my joy while I'm driving it, but they have made my life a living hell when I'm not. Vroom, you suck.